But I'm expecting a greater miracle than the physical.
That will come about.
It will come.
It will come about. You have to have patience. Hmm?
Not Baba and Baba's place.
Not enough, body. Not in a home. Body. Not in a home. Why?
Well, there are obstacles. The obstacle of the basic desires and things. And we got to fight every day. Remove the obstacles.
Shoot them off, basic desires. Don't shoot them on the ground. Shoot them on the skies. If you shoot them on the ground, it will rebound and come back to you. But if you shoot in the air, they will go dissolve.
For good.
Hmm?
Yeah. But it's quite clear there are definite obstacles, and you can't have love if you have the obstacles. You can't have both.
If obstacles are not there, then life would be stagnant life. It has to be there. It is the darkness that brings into appreciation light.
Yeah.
If darkness was not there, who would appreciate light? So if obstacles were not there, what would be life? They have a purpose to fulfill, don't you think so?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
But thus far and no further.
Yes, its time has come.
Thus far and no further.
Oh, yeah.
Obstacles have a purpose to fulfill.
Yeah.
Something. But only to a certain extent.
Yes.
Not all the time.
You shouldn't cling to that. That's where the trouble.
You see, Baba has just explained it in a very easy manner. He said, whatever thought you get, that is from the past. Your past.
Yeah.
Right? What is life in the past? Let them come and go, pass off. Don't harbor those thoughts. And don't put those thoughts into action. You are safe. Don't harbor the thoughts and don't put them into action. And let the thoughts come galore. On the other hand, it gives you an opportunity to work off those thoughts.
And a struggle. I mean, one has to struggle. I mean, I have to struggle. It's not easy because the mind is like a man. It clings to what you want to get rid of. You try and get rid of it, and the mind. I say, I want to get rid of this thought, and
Dedicate everything to him. And then see the results. Have you read God Speaks? You must have read many other books. You want to continue this silence? I've been asked to speak a few words about Baba's work and the meetings that take place here, similar to the meetings that take place everywhere in all the centers all over the world, where Baba has got centers. is a ritual? One has to understand what is a ritual. Ritual is not what we utter or what we say, but ritual is a thing which is day after day repeated mechanically, without a thought of any seriousness about it or any love about it. It's a mechanical repetition. Anything that is mechanically repeated becomes a ritual. So under no circumstances anybody should look upon the prayers of Baba, the Parvatigar prayer and the repentance prayer, as being considered a ritual. Not at all. It is not a ritual. It's a prayer with Baba's love in it. It has a life in it. And Baba has given this during his lifetime has a great, very great importance. A minute ago, I was just explaining to Mr. George the silence he is observing by himself and the silence that was given by Baba to somebody. Actually, silence is not really important. More important is the fact given silence by anyone. The personage who gives the silence, his instructions, obedience to his wishes is much more important than observing silence. There are many yogis who also observe silence. Observing silence is not bad, but observing silence on one's own and observing silence because it has been instructed by Baba or desired by Baba has a greater significance. Baba himself observed silence for 43 years, but his silence was a very different thing. Everyone who observes silence, he observes for his own spiritual progress. Baba observed silence, it was not for his progress at all. He was already perfect. He was God. He was God come into human form. So for him, meditation or silence or privation or fast, although he underwent all this, it had a different meaning altogether. It was done in a different context also. Instructed by the perfect master or the avatar has got a greater value. So I was just explaining, Mr. George, that all you do will be thousandfold compensated if you were to be resigned completely, of all your action to be resigned to the will and wish of Baba and love him with all your heart. So again I say, coming together in meetings, attending the meetings, doing Baba work is really very essential and important. I love Baba. I love Baba, of course, everybody loves Baba. Individually, he loves Baba and he keeps himself satisfied. But the love that we have for Baba should be useful to others also. It has a double purpose to be served. It has a greater purpose to be served. And Baba says, I am in all. I am in every human being, in every soul. So coming together in meetings, offering prayers about Baba, discoursing about Baba, talking about Baba, you see, it becomes really very helpful. And by enlarging the number of persons, you see, you become so much helpful. That is a way of an excellent service. And that is the reason during his lifetime also, Baba encouraged such meetings to take place. He encouraged the centers to come up. Now in India, we have in the state of Andhra, every practically 15 days a new center comes up. And we say, we just find in the beginning there are just a handful number of persons, and within a year or so we see that large gatherings take place. And for the matter of Baba's birthday, when the birthday is 75th or 76th anniversary, consecutively for 76 days they hold programs at various other places. Not at one place, maybe at the center a few times, but at all over the different places they go on holding the programs. But many a times we have seen Baba giving indications about this. And the prayer is most universal prayer. It has been given, dictated by him in 1953 in a place called Dehradun in the north of India. And this is, anybody who thinks this prayer is to be a ritual, then he must stop speaking, go on observing silence alone. Because anything and everything can be dubbed down as a ritual. Anybody has to ask any question about this? Yes.
Here's the gold wallet.
A specific significance, and Baba said for a certain number of days, the prayer should be recited. It was under special circumstances, Baba has said. But in a general way, Baba has said that anybody who offers this prayer has his blessing, he makes himself receptive to his blessings. This is a difference. What you are saying is for a specific period of time, Baba has said about repeating this, reciting this prayer, audibly or inaudibly, whatever you say, whatever the instructions were, that was pertaining to a specific period of time instructed by Baba. You see, this is one thing, and what you say is quite different. Any other questions?
Meditation is Indian.
Uh,
That's which one I was not.
Now, I will tell you, in India, there are a few centers who, to begin with, just begin with a little silence. It may be of a minute or 2 minutes or at the most 5 minutes. It should not be very long silence because anything that tires out a man, supposing you like silence, I like silence, so many others do not like. And if you force them to observe silence, then of course they do it most unwillingly. And when they observe silence, let their silence be, their thoughts be all concentrated on Baba, even for a minute, then observe the silence for half an hour and his mind goes on wandering everywhere. You see. So silence is very good. There are many centers. They just begin by observe. First of all, either they offer prayer and then observe silence for 2 minutes, then begin the other program. Or to begin with, they observe silence for 2 minutes, offer prayer, then continue the other program, maybe of a discourse or of any singing or of any lecture or of any anything that the center people sit together and decide upon. Any other questions about this?
Which it's done.
Hmm?
You would say then that the importance is in the manner in which it's done. If it's done with spirit, then it would be good. If it's done as a dry ritual because it's supposed to be done, then it would be a ritual. Right?
Yes.
As far as you know, I was doing business in Persia. I started there in 1933 or 34 with great difficulties. And then by about 1943, well, I was doing well. And I came for a short holiday to Bombay. A business friend of mine came to me and we were meeting each other. Then he inquired, well, Meherjee, how have you fared during all these years in Persia? You have been struggling and now how is it? So, well, it's not too bad now. At least by Baba's grace, I have no debts to pay to anybody and I am earning my bread. He said, but how much you have earned? You want to, what is your, this is wartime money and you must leave, keep aside somewhere, invest them in property or somewhere. Don't, otherwise this business is speculative and many people lose that thing. Then he asked me, have you got your horoscope? So I do not have it and I do not believe in it. He insisted that, in India, it's a custom when the child is born, in a few days after the birth, the horoscope is prepared for every child practically. So he says that your father must be having that. So I also just wrote to my father and got the horoscope. And one day he took me to a great scholar, astrologer, Sanskrit scholar, and a venerable old man, no doubt, who was even consulted by the ministers when in trouble with their horoscopes. He was a great friend of my friend. So I took the horoscope to him. He said, he just looked at it and said, next week I will tell you the details. So next week we again go there. He says that, stop now. You are going to run into very bad stars and whatever you earn even is like 50% of it is likely to be lost, or even more. I said, I do not have any cash money or anything invested. I have got all goods spread all over Iran, Persia. He said, better sell away when the going is still good. Otherwise, you might lose very heavily. Oh, I also sent telegrams to my office everywhere that start selling goods at current market rates. Without giving any full authority, I gave them that sell away everything. Then, because it was a couple of days a few days that I had been in Bombay. Then I received Baba's telegram. Baba was at that time Lahore. He asked me to come and see him on a particular date with my wife. So we went to see him, Baba. I had last seen Baba in 1932, and this was after 11 years I was seeing Baba. So I went there. Baba embraced me and Baba said, now from 1932 till 1943, what we had done, describe everything. So I related to everything, how difficulties were there and now how the difficulties are all, it was all going very well. Then I told him the story of this astrologer. The Baba, he said that I might lose half of it. And so I have sent telegrams for selling away the goods that I have got spread all over. Baba takes my ear and twists it. You damn fool, you believe in astrology and stars? Then whom do you take me to be? I say, God, of course, Baba. Then who formulates your stars and planets? I say, God. Then he asked me there and then to send a telegram immediately, not to sell anything till I return to Iran. So I made out it. He made me there and then on the spot. And Vishnu Master, who was Baba's disciples, who was attending to all such things there, Baba gave the telegram to Vishnu and sent it immediately from there to Persia. And then he told me that you may carry on as you are doing at present. Don't follow these stars or astrologers or these things. Use your common sense and discretion in business. So I returned to Persia after a time and I started selling the goods and I made 150,000 rupees profit on that goods. If according to stars I followed and sold the goods, I would have perhaps lost at least 50%, I would have lost. So that is astrology. Baba said that we have not to repeat. We have to use our common sense. If there is destiny, if there is something designed by God for us, that will happen. No one is going to prevent that. No astrologer is going to prevent that. So why go, sentimental and superstitious?
So I have gone with Baba. I was there during the period of 4 months, walked distances, begged food as ordered by Baba, slept on open ground under trees with others, went through the hardship of doing labor, digging the ground, watering the gardens, very hard labor indeed. And no prospect of any rest or food anywhere at all. In spite of that, up to today, up to now, I have not really deeply thought over the whole episode of the new life to be able to give you a very clear picture. Only my interpretation. Interpretation is a personal interpretation. Baba's own object in introducing life is known alone to him. Because he is the master, he knows what he does, he has the knowledge of everything, and I cannot probe or I cannot fathom what just introduced this new life to his 20 disciples, including the 4 women who underwent through terrific hardship for a few months. You cannot really imagine, and Baba also went along with us. He walked the distances until his feet were covered over with blisters. We used to actually nurse, used to nurse those blisters. And we used to request Baba that why wouldn't you take a little rest here and then we will resume our journey onwards. Baba said not at all. He used to get those blisters rest and undertake the food journey on and on and on and on. Now, there are different types of lives that are introduced by Baba in the new life. The one life was the life of labor, another life was the life of begging, third life was the life of complete renunciation, and there are certain such lives, of course, you can go through the different circulars that were issued from time to time about the new life, and all these circulars have been bound into one volume very recently, and that will be available here. Or if this bookshop hasn't got it, you could write to me or you could write to Ivy Do Sell from anywhere you can get it. Or you can get it from the Society for Avatar Meher Baba, New York. Now, the different types of life introduced by Baba, according to me, with the little thought so far I have given, I intend to really sort of go into a seclusion, just think very deeply and just find out, just my interpretation. My interpretation be 100% right or 100% wrong. It is up to everyone to accept it or reject it. But I feel that in my own way, I'll be able to interpret it. So, the different types of life that are introduced by Baba, we may have in view about the humanity because he calls it a new life. He calls it a new life. The new life was not what was there in old life and new life for Baba, the man who says that I and God are one. I and the whole humanity is one. I am God realized. I am the avatar of the age. I am the perfect master. I am God personified in human form. For such a man, where is the necessity of a new or old life? It makes no difference for him at all. But anything that he did not do it for himself. It is to sow the seed of that life for the entire humanity. We do not know how the circumstances develop tomorrow. The atom bombs are ready. Humanity, every human being, you see, every nation runs at the throat of every other nation. Tomorrow, the crisis may come. Some catastrophic changes, as Baba has already said, that the changes are going to take place. And probably it is through these changes that Baba's manifestation will culminate. So, this life are already endorsed by the avatar of the age during his lifetime. And he himself went through the labors of that new life. They have been introduced for the future, for the humanity. Time and again, Baba has given warnings. Baba has intimated disciples not to go to any other saints because there are saints and saints we do not know in the world. It is very difficult to assess the value of a real saint, to assess the value of a really spiritual advanced man. There are many persons in the world, as I always say, that they look to be very saintly. They may even have saintly qualities. But to be a saint actually, to be advanced on the spiritual path is the most difficult thing, and that is only achieved when a man completely loses his physical consciousness, enters into the subtle plane, and is only becomes subtly conscious for the time until he goes into the mental plane and becomes unconscious of the subtle plane and unconscious of the physical plane. It's a compartmental existence. And that advancement, in the words of Baba, is a turning of the mind completely. The mind takes an about turn. He becomes oblivious to the world. The world doesn't exist for him. He is not conscious of the world. And then he advances. That person, and still we do not know. In the internal stages, whether he is on the first plane, second plane, third plane, fourth plane, sixth plane, seventh plane. Seventh plane is the highest plane. You see, there are many slips between the cup and the lip, and it is most difficult. Baba says, do not go to any. Whether somebody says that he is a real saint, somebody says he is an imitation saint, there is no reason for anybody who is connected with Meher Baba, the avatar of the age, the personification of God on earth, for that man to go anywhere at all. He very boldly and very emphatically says so, and to that extent, to that end, he issued warnings which are printed. If you have read it, there are certain booklets in which Baba has given warnings that you should not go to any other saint at all. What will be the speed of the response? What will be the volume of the response you are going to get? But here is Baba, he says, I've got everything ready, it is up to you just to open up yourself and take it. I am the ocean of love. Can you compare Meher Baba's statements with any of the saints past or present? Ramakrishna Paramahansa was called avatar by somebody. He himself did not say that he was the avatar of the age. Aurobindo, somebody has said that Aurobindo was the avatar. He has not really claimed himself to be avatar. But here is Meher Baba, day in and day out, he comes and says, if I am anything, I am the avatar of the age, I am the highest of the high. If he is really not, how could he have that courage to say? And what would he gain by saying this? I really honestly believe that if Meher Baba had called himself an ordinary saint, he would have a much greater following today than he has. But why should he say so? He must tell anything honestly that he is. So inevitably we have to come to the conclusion that what he said, he must be. Otherwise he's a madman. And a madman cannot draw these hundreds of people after him. You see, when we look upon a madman, we get away from him. We don't go after him at all. So how can Baba, during his silence all these years, how has he drawn so many hundreds of people, thousands of people all over the world? Is he really mad? So inevitably we have to come to the conclusion that what he says, he must be, otherwise he is nothing. Baba says that you cannot accept me as something lesser than highest of the high. If I am something highest of the high, otherwise I am nothing. And if somebody comes out and says that Meher Baba is proud, Baba is to openly, unequivocally come out and say, if you have the guts, come out in the world and declare to the world that Meher Baba is proud. Don't wait for a moment. But if you have faith in me, if you accept me and really have the conviction and believe in me for what I have called myself, for what I am, then you submit yourself, give me your 100% love, obey me and love me, and forget about everything. This is the great royal road that has been given to us. Why should we run into the lanes and bylanes and leave the highway? Interest creates a necessity. Interest creates a habit. Habit creates a necessity. And man falls a prey to it. Reading those books are really not bad, but absolutely important and necessary. If that is not necessary for us and important for us, why should we indulge in it? I do not want to fall into a well, but I like to go and stand on the parapet wall of the well and do acrobatics. And if the foot slips, he goes down and drowns himself. You see, why should we take that risk? To deviate from to the person who is the highest of the high, when we have come in the orbit of his love, when we have read about him, we know, are convinced about it, why should we digress ourselves, go from place to place? Like a butterfly going from one flower to another, we dissipate our spiritual energy by this. It is not absolutely necessary at all. We have to concentrate it. To get the full response of his blessings and love, we have to concentrate fully 100% upon him and him alone. Because as long as we are bound by the law, a law of illusion, we have to take recourse to. Somebody will come and say, why should we hate some other saint, or why should you go? You are bound by law, you have to go through the process, you have to concentrate. Otherwise the response you have got. In like manner, Baba says God is everywhere. There is God even in the saint. Hinduism says that God is in the stone also. Go and worship the stone, go on rubbing your head against it your lifetime maybe. Our attitude in this respect should be very positive. I don't think we should try to correct them in any way, or we are in a position to correct them at all. Because to correct a man going on his own way would mean that we should possess so much of the technical knowledge, which we may have or we may not have. But the most positive way is to direct him, to bring him, to wean him in favor of Baba and his love and his principles, which are most universal, which do not come in the way of any religion, any caste, any creed, any nationality, any status. Man may be a poor, man may be rich, he may be Christian, he may be Muslim, he may be Hindu, he may be Buddhist, he may be anyone. It is only man for Baba. For Baba, it is one humanity, one brotherhood, one love, one God. Just master and ask him a question. What is the most difficult thing in the life? He says, to change human nature. Human nature is the most difficult thing in the life. All the good and bad in the world that we see today emanates and proceeds and come out of human nature and nothing else. So to change the life of a man in an overnight is nothing short of a miracle. Jai Baba.
Anybody's interested in the schedule when it's out in Meherjee next? There'll be breakfast tomorrow morning at 8:00 a.m. Tomorrow, so everybody goes.